You tell the chairman about
Board of County Commissioners now in session. We'll have Commissioner Lockley say the prayer, followed with the pledge.
Good evening, let's pray. Oh, Heavenly Father, we come in this evening to take care of business of Franklin County. We hope in it that everybody who have business leave him with a certified peace of mind. I want you to bless the world, send a special blessing to Franklin County because we need it. This we ask in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
About to say good morning. Good afternoon. All right, we have the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. I have the county bills.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, I'm sorry, Commissioner.
ahead.
Chairman, as instructed, none of your department heads are here, with the exception of Pam, because there are no action items, and this includes the TDC report from Mr. Kurt Blair. If you have any questions, you let me know, and I will forward them to your department directors and Mr. Blair.
Okay.
Okay? But Pam does need to open up, there's some bids.
All right, Ms. Pam.
Well, these are not bids. I mean, I'm sorry, bid qualifications. These are requests for qualifications. There's not going to be, even though your form says bid amount and bond, there is no bid amount, there is no bond. This is a request for qualifications, and so we'll open them to make sure nothing falls out, but there's not going to be any, and we'll read aloud the name of the firm, but that's, you're just, and then they'll turn it over to Pam and her staff to make a recommendation on the most qualified firm for these work products. The top three. The top three are all,
There's only three?
no, there's four of them.
Four.
That,
Before, but they're copies.
they may top.
Well,
Let me-
I'm sorry. Are they copies?
Yes. First one is Anderson Design and Build,
Out of,
Tallahassee, Florida. The next one is Florida Retrofits. This is out of Palm Bay, Florida.
over there at Jacksonville, St. Augustine.
Yeah. And the next one is JP Roberts Company, and that's out of Crawfordville.
The last one, we may have to only get the address.
The next one is Curtis Lewis Vision Builders.
Towards the Joe?
Is that what that is?
Yeah, St. Joe. You're right, St. Joe.
All right, so our recommendation turn over to Pam and her committee to give you a recommendation. on what's
So
qualified.
moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Commissioners, I do want to let y'all know that we advertised this for 2 weeks in our local paper. We advertised it in St. Joe paper. Tress also got a list from Planning and Zoning of all the contractors that are licensed that they had a list of. The ones we had emails for, we emailed it out, and then she actually mailed out hard copies of this to contractors. So we did our best to make sure that everybody was notified of this.
Thank you, Ms. Pam. Planning and zoning report.
Well, let me go to one thing, because I thought Fonda was going to be on one thing. Fonda Davis and I talked about something regarding improvements of parks and rec facilities. There is a group of young men and women in the county, the Youth Conservation Corps, I believe it's called,
Conservation Corps.
who have done some projects, have done one major project here in Apalachicola, and may have done some other ones, but they built a boardwalk over here for the city of Apalachicola, and they are looking to do some other work. And Fonda and I spoke this morning. There has been some limitation of getting inmate crews out to do some repairs, and so we didn't know whether the board wanted to consider providing up to $5,000 or more than $5,000 for specific repair work that this group would do under supervision by the county at county facilities. Perhaps rebuilding some boardwalks, if there are other things at parks. They have limited carpentry skills, but they have some, and we would try to use them and have them learn some skills. You know, it's just an idea, but it'd be up to $5,000 out of his budget for some repairs to existing county facilities.
If they got insurance?
They
You
are,
said youth conservation corps?
yeah, youth conservation corps.
We probably need to check with our insurance.
Okay.
to See what we're covered for. I'm
Let's
not
table
suggesting
it
it's a bad
until
idea,
the
but we
next
need to make sure-
meeting,
Okay.
until we can get Fonda in here, Alan.
Okay.
And let's table it until we can get Fonda in here and check out the liability insurance and
Okay.
everything on them too.
Okay.
Okay. Do we need a motion on
No,
that?
I'll have Paul
Okay.
next time.
Okay.
And y'all wanna check with
All right, planning and zoning report.
the insurance.
Okay, there was one, at our P and Z, there's one commercial site plan review. It's consideration of a request for commercial site plan approval for Lula and Dan LLC. That's the Doc Myers commercial site plan for 80-seat single-service restaurant located at lots 24 to 30 on St. George Island. The kitchen, restroom, storage, and cooler will be permanently elevated, code-compliant structure that will meet flood requirements and will have open-air patio-type dining housed in a chickee structure. Submitted by Mr. Jim Waddell, who is here. He's the agent for Lula and Dan LLC. I will tell you, I was at the P and Z meeting. Everyone, it was voted unanimously. People that objected to it prior to that because of the mobile units, they just love this. They love the changes and the revision, and no one spoke against it at the meeting.
Can we, I think that Commissioner Watson is fixing to come
Oh,
in.
yes.
Let's wait for Commissioner Watson to come in here before we, since this is in his district.
As soon as he has the seat, I'll explain it to him because this will be in his district.
I will.
What's going on.
I will. Commissioner, I was explaining that the Doc Myers project that went in front of P and Z last week, it was supported unanimously by the board and by the people in the public that were there that at some point had objected to the mobile units. They were now fully in support of the revision of the kitchen, storage, cooler, and the bathrooms, which are ADA compliant, being upstairs. And
Familiar with the
it's-
project?
Yes, and in some of the renderings, you'll see where there's a gentleman walking, and off to his right, you'll see the elevator doors, and you'll see the stairs. And if I missed anything, Jim, you let me know. You guys have any questions for Mr. Waddell? He's here.
Anybody have any questions, Mr. Waddell?
Planning and zoning passed it, huh?
Yep, unanimously, sir.
Planning and zoning, what, said it was fine.
I'd like to
I
make
so
a motion. Is the motion been made?
Yeah, motion made.
Yes.
Okay, have a motion on the floor.
Second.
Have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Marshall Johnson, Clerk of Court, report.
Good evening.
Good evening.
As the last meeting, I'm following up with more resolutions for adoption on unanticipated revenues, which is part of the end of the year bookkeeping. This will be the last of it. I think all of them had to be put before you by today's meeting in order to comply with Florida Statutes 129. And this is money that, when we did the initial budget for last year, we didn't know we were going to receive these funds. They were received, they were spent during the year, and we've got to put them in the budget and include them as part of last year's budget. The first one dealt with $4,167 that we received from the state of Florida for E911 system maintenance. The second one deals with $67,680 received from the state of Florida for payment of law enforcement expenses in the sheriff's budget. The third one deals with $234,562, of which $179,562 was received from Ring Investments for the purchase of a Caterpillar M316 excavator, and $55,000 was for the trade-in of 2 pieces of old equipment. The fourth one was $63,638 received from the Florida Department of Transportation for the payment of expenses incurred in the remarking and signage of Lake Morality Road. The fifth one dealt with $13,558 received from the Florida Division of Emergency Management for expenses incurred in disaster response and FEMA mitigation programs. The sixth one dealt with $50,000 received from the Florida Department of State for the payment of expenses incurred in the replacement of the roof at Chapman Auditorium. The seventh one dealt with $30,192 received from the Federal Aviation Administration for expenses incurred in the design of airfield pavement rehabilitation at our airport here in Appalachia. And the eighth resolution dealt with $494,776 received from the Florida Department of Transportation for expenses incurred in the resurfacing, widening, and drainage of CR 384 Bluff Road here in Appalachia.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, one other item is I have some budget amendments that we also have to include in last year's budget. These are things that were done by you as a board after the budget had been adopted. The following are needed to move funds between line items to adjust the 214, 215 budget values for the following departments. Solid waste, we have to increase repair and maintenance for 59, capital outlay 22,210, and we decrease utilities 5,210, operating 76,000. Road department, we increased repair and maintenance 25,000, and machinery and equipment 112,694, and we decreased operating supplies 87,979, principals 46,743, and interest 2,972. Parks and Rec, we increased their overtime 3,900, capital outlay 71,401, and we decreased regular salaries 36,640, retirement 7,123, repair and maintenance 24,000, principal 6,396, interest 1,142. Those are just within those departments, things that were done with the department heads, and we just have to make those adjustments. And then there was another line item budget that we had to cover inmates' recurring medical expenses for the sheriff's department, and the board approved that back on June 15th of 2015. So we had to increase inmate medical expenses by $50,000, and we decreased the jail repair and maintenance by $50,000. So each one of those line items had to balance out whatever we increased. We had to decrease another line item by the same amount. So there was no changes in the budget, just the line items.
You need a motion?
I need a motion to approve all those line item budget amendments.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
And that's all I have unless someone has a question for
Anybody have
me.
any question for Marshall? Thank you.
Thank you.
Alan Pierce?
Two items on the restore, or actually three, I guess. The first item is the board's ready to go ahead and appoint as many members as we can on the 7-member council. We have some commonalities there. You see the names of Lynn Martina, Otis Amoson, Rose McCoy, and Eric Lovestrand are willing to sit on those seats that I have identified. We still have one more seat currently called non-governmental that needs to be filled. And the city of Carabel sent us a letter appointing Mayor La Paz to represent the city of Carabel. And I have not heard yet officially from the city of Apalachicola. I believe it will be their mayor, but I haven't gotten a letter yet from them. So if the board's ready, we can at least get these 6 members appointed and get them, they won't probably meet, but, whenever you're all ready to appoint, we're ready to start the process.
Are you all ready to appoint?
Is that the complete board other than
Yes.
the one appointment from Appalachia?
Those are your 5 seats from the county appointment, and then, yes, so you have 4 out of the 5 county appointments and the city of Apalachicola.
When will they know on the one from Appalachia?
Well, I was informed, I'm waiting for a letter from the city.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to move ahead forward with this and accept the names that's been submitted.
Second. Do it.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Item number 2, in order to be eligible to apply for and ultimately receive restore funds, the U.S. Treasury is requiring a number of documents be created and adopted by all counties. At the last meeting, the board adopted a conflict of interest and conduct standards policy, and now the board needs to consider and adopt the following 2 policies I've created: a Franklin County fraud policy and a Franklin County policy on safeguarding personal identification information. I've not had Mr. Schuer, I just created these last week and he hasn't seen them yet, so I would say board approval contingent upon him reviewing them. These are documents, Mr. Schuer, that I didn't create from scratch, modified from another jurisdiction.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve contingent on the attorney's recommendation.
Have a motion on the floor. Have a second.
Second.
Have a second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
And the last item is, I'm going to present the board, so you already got it electronically, with a copy of what I've titled Franklin County Manual for Grants Administration that will be sent to the U.S. Treasury because Treasury is asking for written protocol on how grants are handled. At this time, the document does not need to be adopted. It is a draft that was written based upon my knowledge of the structure of the Franklin County administrative personnel and how we deal with grants. It is possible U.S. Treasury will ask for improvements and/or ask that it be formally adopted. So I'm going to submit it up to them in a draft form, and then if they like it, we will ultimately adopt it because they want written protocol on everything. And as I talked to somebody else today, basically by the time we're done and ready for restore funds, we will have become a subset of the federal government, and we will have rules and regulations written in covering every possible scenario. This is going to be a long process trying to meet all their requirements. And I don't know, Commissioner Sanders, I guess I'll say it now, not Tuesday, but at the Restore Council, there's going to be quite a bit of debate about the consortium. We're going to see where the muscle is, because South Florida has made, a committee of 15 has made a recommendation to turn upside down the orientation of the money.
It's going to be interesting.
We'll be there.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll just see how it comes out.
We need a motion on this.
No, not on the number 3, no. I'm just going
Okay.
to give it to you all, and let's see if the Treasury has the improvements to it.
And Alan, thank you for the work that you've done on that, because it is kind of very confusing.
Yeah, it's very.
And it is confusing, but thank you for staying on and looking at that to where it takes the workload off of Michael.
Yeah, no, I appreciate
Marone
it.
and also Michael Schuler, because Michael Schuler's been very versed in it also.
Yes.
From the attorney's side.
Yeah, we will, we'll see, our planning grant has been accepted by U.S. Treasury, they're reviewing it now, so hopefully, shortly, we will go from having not been too structured to being back in the lead again. So we look forward to getting going and, getting up to speed with what the community expects out of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Michael Marone.
Evening again, Commissioners. Item 1 in my report, I need board action to close Highway 98 for the East Point Christmas Parade. From Gillespie Street, did I say that right, Commissioner? To Bay Street on December 11th, not November 11th, from 4 p.m. to 5:15 p.m. The FDOT form requires a signature for the parade event coordinator, so the county needs that person to contact Ms. Roxy Allen at 653-9783. She's at extension 194 as soon as possible.
If they can't get up with someone, I'll sign it and be
Yeah,
there.
last year Allen signed it, but I think it's actually should be someone for the parade.
Yeah, I mean, if not, I'll be at the parade, so if I have to, I'll sign it.
Okay, thank you so much. Oh, I'm sorry, I need board action.
Board action.
So we need a motion.
So moved.
Have a
Continue.
motion second on the floor. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 2, board action is to authorize 2K Web Group, who manages and hosts the county's website, to redesign the county's website. The redesign will allow the public to notify the county staff of problems and issues via a direct link on the website, and it would also allow county staff to consistently inform the public of upcoming events, pertinent and general information, like the change for this meeting, and changes to public meetings with a news feed option. There will be additional features to the website that I will discuss at a later date. The estimated cost of the project is $1,500. And what I really like about it, to be honest with you guys, is the public can go to let's say a ball game, and there's a fence or a dugout, or during a rain event, there's a ditch that's flooding. They can take a picture of it, fill out the information where it is, leave us contact information if they want updates, and go and just hit connect, and it'll send it straight to me.
Well, that
And then I could then
commissioners-
send it to the commissioners and the appropriate department and say, hey, you guys, we need to work on this. That's one of the features I love the most, to be very honest with you, and the constant updates to the public about things that we're doing. And we're gonna need to take new pictures, commissioners.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 3, Commissioner Watson requests that Mr. Hank Kozlowski is appointed to the Weems Hospital Board as the District 1 representative. Mr. Kozlowski's resume is attached, and I need board action for that approval.
I have a question. Is he attached with Sacred Heart?
No.
He's not? Okay.
I'll make that motion. I was on the board, and when I was appointed to be commissioner, I had to resign for the board. So-
Okay, I didn't know if he was attached to Sacred Heart or not. Okay. Have a motion on the floor, need a second? Have a motion on the floor, need a second?
Second.
Have a motion to second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Item 4, at the last meeting, Alan notified the board of yet another incident of damage to the guardrail at the 12th Street Bluff Road corner, also known as Deadman's Curve. Staff is currently seeking an estimate to replace the guardrail, but would like the board to consider using wood instead of aluminum as a replacement.
Well, the reason I mentioned it, Commissioner, this is now the third accident, this is, we spent
About
almost
$10,000, what,
$10,000.
a few months I've been here, well,
On
not
aluminum.
6, 7 months.
You know, and, I mean, I know it looks great, it's sleek, it's, nice, but if we keep damaging this guardrail, or the public keeps damaging the guardrail, this is just throwing money away. I don't know whether a wooden rail would suffice or not.
Alan, why don't we have Pepper Rich look at that thing and see, I mean, I want to know what this wooden thing's going to even look like. I mean, so we need some kind of conceptual
Okay.
drawing, or, actually, what I think it needs is a daggum guardrail in front of it.
The
I
problem
mean,
is- Yeah,
something, I mean, wooden's just gonna get knocked down too, and if you constantly keep, and there's a big portion of that that's not damaged.
Right.
It's always right there at the
Right,
curve.
first curve,
So
right.
I'd like to make a motion that we direct Pebble Ridge to look at it and work with county staff to see what kind of recommendations they would come up with as our in-house engineer, I guess you would call them, and see what we, as far as the design, what's this thing gonna look like? Is it gonna be feasible? Is it gonna
How
cost
strong?
just as much to do that as it is to replace the aluminum? I
How
mean,
strong it's going to be too.
yeah, I mean,
Well, the purpose of the guardrail.
can we take it down?
Yeah, you could take it down.
I mean, there's never been one there, but then they hit a big ditch, and I don't know
Well,
the
the problem is-
liability issue
Yeah,
for the county at that point.
The guardrail is unfortunately not designed to stop vehicles, and it doesn't do that, but
pedestrians.
it's designed to keep people from stepping off the edge of the
Yeah.
sidewalk into that ditch there. So the
Right.
guardrail will never stop a vehicle.
And there was a handicapped person there that was worried about
Right.
coming off the sidewalk and rolling into the
Pedestrian.
ditch where he couldn't be seen.
What
And you know what I'm
insurance,
talking about, Sheriff. So I mean, it's an
When we get an
issue.
accident report, yes, sir, we'll go after the person, but this is the third time where there's not an accident report, so we don't know who's doing the damage.
That's what I brought up at the last meeting. We've never got an accident report. I guess these people are fixing their own cars because you can't file insurance without an accident report,
Yeah.
but
And Commissioner, I mean, that's a very popular exercise route that people use back and forth all the time. So as it gets dark quicker, we really need something to protect that. from that
sidewalk
for
itself?
pedestrians, yes, sir.
it's like the rail we got now just keeps you from going in the ditch.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't protect the sidewalk.
No, but see, the problem is, and I talked about, I'll tell you briefly about this, the road and the sidewalk are so close together that you might be creating a hazard when you put
If you put
something
anything closer to the road.
close to the road, yeah.
I'd like to make a motion that Pebble Ridge look at it and see what you can come up with and bring it back to the board for their consideration and what the estimated cost is gonna be.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Item 5, inform the board that I sent the budget request forms to Senator Mumford's office for the 2015-16 legislative budget cycle. Ms. Mathis acknowledged that she received those forms. Item 6, board action to award the Timber Island Bridge project to North Florida Construction as recommended by Pebble Ridge and designate a funding source. The Finance Office recommends that we use the repair and maintenance line item from the local gas option tax account. I attached a copy of the tabulations to your iPads.
We have funds available to do that.
Yes, Erin said she did. I checked with Erin, she said we do.
So moved.
second.
Have a motion second on the floor, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Item 7, board action to make an award for the road paving project. Attaches an email from Clay Smallwood of Pebble Ridge that explains that even though C.W. Roberts is his recommendation as the lowest bidder, there was a math error in their bid. The bid tabulation and the breakdown of each cost of each road per district based on C.W. Roberts' corrected bid is also attached.
Need a motion?
I do.
So moved.
Second?
Have a motion second on the floor, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
For the record, do we want to clarify what?
Have Clay explain what
Briefly, I want
the,
to explain that the bid we read aloud is the bid we read aloud is not the bid we're awarding tonight as far as valuations. The bid we're awarding tonight is $58,000 below the bid we read out.
what I did, I mean, yeah, unfortunately, it's part of their package, but not for public or anything.
Right, it's in the email you got, but
Yes.
just for the record, yeah, the corrected bid price that you're awarding it at is $1,722,094.27,
Which is 50,
which is, yeah, 52,883.56 cents less than
less
what they
than what was read
wrote.
out.
That's correct.
Clay, I noticed as I was reading through my district that the road striping was, very reasonable.
Yes, sir, it is. That includes thermoplastic
That
striping.
is thermoplastic striping.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's it? Good enough? Okay. Item 8, on Tuesday, November 10th, Commissioner Lockley and I met with Ms. Latoya Washington of Florida Association of Counties and Mr. Lee Hauser of Boston Mutual Life Insurance. Boston Mutual is proposing a whole life policy, which is endorsed by FAC for county employees. I need board action to allow Boston Mutual to meet with and discuss this policy with county employees. Since this will be paid by a payroll deduction, and we have a small payroll department, the finance office has requested at least 10 to 15 employees sign up before authorizing the deductions.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor, all in favor?
Discussion.
Okay, go ahead.
You got any kind of,
I'm sorry, Commissioner, it's different from most of the other insurance we have is term life, this is whole life, where as you pay into it, besides getting a payout upon death, there's a cash value that builds up that you can borrow against it, you know.
and this is paid for by the employees?
Yes, the employees pay for this, the county has no part in the contribution to the payment. I mean, some of them are as low as $10 a week, you know, and they'll explain to each of the employees how much the cash value is worth, you know, and then they could pay an extra dollar to double it, you know, based on accidents, so forth and so on. It's just another option for the employees,
It's cheaper.
basically, if they choose to take it or not.
Okay, so it's not paid for by the county, but by the employees?
Yeah, employees, and I'm sorry, it was a misleading when I said payroll deduction. It's payroll deduction strictly from an employee's part, none on the county. Okay.
It's way cheaper.
Well, if Mr. Lockley asked about, I'm gonna use his terms, he asked them for this old folk is what he asked them about, and their plans for more mature.
Cheaper for
That's the only thing with whole life versus term life. It's whole life is whole life. I mean, you
Yeah.
have to pay your whole life. Term life is like a 20-year policy or 30-year
I
policy.
think there's some benefits you can get at 65, Commissioner, what they said.
You can just
too.
borrow
Yeah.
from it.
Well, shoot, that just leaves just about all of us. out up here, don't
I'm there.
All right,
I just need board
that was the
action
only
to-
question
I
I
have a
had.
motion to second on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
On November 12th, Commissioner Lockley and I attended the Franklin County Transportation Disadvantaged Local Coordinating Board meeting. At this meeting, we officially found out that Crooms Transportation is no longer the county's community transportation coordinator. The designation of the CTC allows the transportation coordinator to provide cost-effective transportation for residents with disabilities, the elderly, low-income individuals, and children at risk. Gulf County Transportation will be providing this service for a year, and then an RFQ will be advertised during the year for a full contract term.
This was a decision that came down from the state.
This is a state decision. Not even the local coordinating board had any ruling on this. They were just being advised, like we were being advised at that meeting, that this is the decision that was made, I think, about a month ago at a meeting, annual conference.
I don't have no problem with this, but I would like to have a letter written to the ARPC, because they are the one that administers the disadvantaged transportation, and ask them to, in the future, contact us when there is a problem at the onset, and then maybe we can remedy the problem before it gets too far advanced.
Okay.
Okay? So I'm gonna put that in the form of a motion.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor, all in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
Item 10, I need board action to reappoint Ms. Carol Barfield as the county's public service representative on the Capital Area Community Action Agency Board of Directors for the 2015-2016 term.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor, all in favor? All opposed, motion carries.
Inform the board that Ms. Amy Kelly of Planning and Zoning Office, that's this one right here, attended and made a presentation at the FEMA CRS workshop at Estuarine Research Reserve on Tuesday, November 10th. Attached is an email from Ms. Anita Grove, the Coastal Training Program Coordinator there, praising Ms. Kelly on a job well done in representing the county in a very professional manner. So that's just me telling you guys that the money you guys allow to pay for training and classes and all that, it pays off. Final item, on Monday, November 9th, I attended the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers final public hearing regarding the ACF waters held at the Estuarine Research Reserve. This public hearing was well attended, but because of the format of the hearing and the amount of people in the room, at times it was very difficult to get information. I submitted the board's letter supporting the Florida Congressional October 6th letter regarding the draft environmental impact statement and the master water control manual for the ACF River Basin. Honestly, Commissioners, I'll tell you, I don't think they expected as many people to be there that was there at 4 o'clock. I mean, that room, you guys been in that room before, it was full. And you couldn't hear, I was with Shannon, we stood there for about 10 minutes just trying to get one person to talk to us, you know? And it was people trying to barge in and get pamphlets. Because it was station to station to station, but in a small room with so many people, it was tough. It was tough getting information. But they fulfilled their duty of having that final public hearing.
I think I'd like a comment. We had the largest number of any of their 5 meetings. The next one was at Lake Lanier. I think they had like 80 people.
Yeah, you know it, it'd be Lake Lanier.
The two ends of the river.
The two ends, yeah, you're right. That's good.
In your packets, you're going to see there's a letter there to Mr. Floyd. He violated something, but I have it as an informational item, not necessarily something to be in the agenda. If you have any questions about it, let me know.
I got Mr. Richards here on this letter here.
Oh, okay. Let me do this.
Okay.
One thing.
Okay.
In my hand, I hold you guys, what I call it, a report from the Commission on Ethics. This report clears our Commissioner Lockley of all the complaints that were
Read
leveled
it.
against.
I want it read into public record.
Oh, okay. Based on a preliminary investigation of this complaint and on the recommendation of the Commission's advocate, the Commission on Ethics finds that there is no probable cause to believe that the respondent, as a member of the Franklin County Board of County Commissioners, violated Section 112.313, Section 6. Did I say that right, Attorney? Yeah. Florida statutes by misusing Franklin County resources regarding his attendance at conferences and meetings. Finds that there's no probable cause to believe that the respondent violated Section 112.3136 of Florida statutes by misusing Franklin County resources at his residence. Finds that there is no probable cause to believe that the respondent violated Section 112.313, Section 6 of the statute by misusing his public position to obtain preferential treatment for himself and others at Weems Memorial Hospital. Finds that there is no probable cause to believe that the respondent violated Section 112.3136 of the statutes by misusing his public position to participate in the Vessels of Opportunity program, and finds that there is no probable cause to believe that the respondent violated Section 112.3143, Section 3 of the statutes by voting on a matter pertaining to the BP Deepwater Horizon oil spill that inured to his special private gain as alleged in this complaint.
Best parts on the next page.
Accordingly, this complaint is dismissed with the issuance of this public report. Ordered by the State of Florida Commission on Ethics, meeting in executive session on October 23rd, 2015. Would you like me to read who got copies of this?
I just want to say congratulations to Mr. Noah.
Thank you.
Because ethics charges are very serious, and I'm glad that it was brought to justice and what well-deserved justice. So that's good. I'm glad. Thank you, Michael, for reading that.
You're welcome. Now, Commissioner.
Now you can breathe a little bit easier.
I'm through, so Mr. Richards.
Mr. Richard, come forward there and
Well, as you know, I'm
tell your name for the record, please.
Chase Richards. I'm a police officer with the Apalachicola Police Department. I have 2 more copies here. I think Commissioner Sanders and Commissioner Watson
They didn't get their copies for the meeting. Basically, I submitted a proposal to the city of Apalachicola for help with a firing range for the city of Apalachicola and Franklin County in a whole. I submitted this at the last meeting with the city. They approved my proposal for the firing range and have allocated $50,000, $25,000 from the BP oil spill legal monies, whatever that was, and then they have granted me $25,000 in liquidations and sales through the city and what they get through liquidation sales. So you have here in your hand now, if you look at the proposal, it's a significant part of the police department and the community. The possibilities are, they're limitless. There's a pile of things that could be done. My thing is, I'm the training officer with the City of Apalachicola Police Department, so I want to be able to train these officers with the City of Apalachicola, and like I told them, I'm here until I retire, so I got 26 years left, and I'm going to try to make the best of it all 26 years and do what I can to help out the community. I want to try to get shooting competitions. I want to try to get education for kids. I know kids now learn how to shoot from video games and everything else that's bad. I want to try to help educate kids and educate people in general. You know, I want to have hunter safety courses. I want to have the public come out. I want to have all kinds of shooting, like I said, shooting competitions sponsored by the NRA. I love the NRA, and I want to have them out, have them involved as much as possible. And I want to try to get them involved in it as well. There'll be membership fees of this range. I want to try to keep it very nice, a very good-looking range. I know the county has a range in East Point. There's been, from what I hear throughout the community, complaints of it being kind of on the lower scale of ranges, as far as, the way it appears and the way it looks, and it's hard to get out there and shoot. I want to try to make a nice range for the the community. Basically, what I'm asking is I'm asking to see if the county can help out in any way possible. If the county can, provide some equipment out there, some, excavators, whatever kind of equipment that, that you can provide. I'm asking for approval, just a week's worth of equipment, just to put it out there. I don't know as far as approval from the FAA with the airport, the runway being there. I want to try to get all that approval first before and we can get that approval before you make a decision. I guess, we can do that.
We ought to get that approval before we start knocking down trees and stuff.
Well, yes. We got to get approval from. I just want to come to the meeting, just kind of make you aware of what I'm trying to do, and just kind of let you see what's going on and what we're trying to accomplish over here in Appalachia. And you got the proposal there. The proposal has rental agreements. That's just a proposal. That's not set in stone. I've had approximately 30 people come to me and said, hey, $100 a year, I'll come and do it. So $100 a year, if that's 30 people, that's $3,000 there. Everything that is made off the range goes back into the range, so it's self-sufficient. It'd be a shoot at your own risk. The membership fees would have an agreement attached to it. And, there's a couple, it'd be going in phases. So with the $50,000, it would go in phases. The first phase would just try to get a 50-yard handgun range just for that, and try to get that out there. That'd be for just strictly handguns, and then move on to more long-range rifles after that, and then try to get storage buildings. Try to get some maybe some nice training buildings out there. I've been talking with some FEMA representatives that stated that they could possibly donate some trailers. So I'm trying to get it done. I want to make it nice. I just want to see if you guys can come and help and be a part. We actually need a couple more ranges. We could have one in Carabel, one all over we got one in Carabel, one in East Point, one in Appalachia. So everybody in the whole county could have their way. So it's just up to you guys. I'll be willing to help out whatever way I can to do whatever I got to do. So
I make a motion that we help him clear the land after you get your information and everything straight?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what I was wanting to know. That's what I was wanting to ask. Has the city of, because you're gonna be using the Western spray field, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Have they approved this?
Yes, ma'am. They have
Okay,
approved,
yeah.
it's 20.3 acres or 20.4 acres, I believe.
Okay.
Right now, I'm in the process of getting the survey completed, to survey out that property. Like I said, the spray fields is by Tilton Road 98, so it's out way west of town. We wouldn't have really any reason why we couldn't do it other than the runway being that close. We kind of want to try to see if we can work with the FAA to try to get that accomplished. But at this time, I'm working through the approval process. It's a long, for a firing range, it's a pretty hefty job, but
Yeah.
But if this motion passed, how about you bring all your information to Michael so he can clear it?
I will definitely do that.
Comment, 'cause I think it's a great project, and I'm very supportive and wish you
Thank you.
success.
Well, thank you,
I
Commissioner.
like what you named it myself.
Well, I made a promise to Miss Evelyn Babb. I went to her before I ever started this. I've been working on this about a year. I went to her about a year ago, and I told her what I wanted to do. I told her that we have kind of, I don't want to say failed as a city, but, we named the police department after him, and, but I wanted something more. I wanted to really represent, he's the only police officer with the Apalachicola Police Department that has lost his life in the line of duty. So he lost his life, he gave the ultimate sacrifice, and what other way to honor him by giving him a memorial recreational complex that could really represent him and his family, and that way, I think it's a really good thing for the family.
Yeah, Miss Evelyn's a sweetheart too.
She sure is.
Everybody loves her. So.
I too would like to commend you for moving forward this. I know you approached me over a year ago about the same situation up here at the Chevron station of trying to come together and build a firing range out there. I'm glad to see that you're following through and working diligently at that. And as the rest of the commissioners said, the name means it all.
That's right.
I brought this name up several years ago as trying to do a firing range in memory of Mr. Babb. We weren't able to do it at that time, but I'm very glad to see that you're moving forward with that, and we're thinking along the same lines. And anything that we can do, we will. I'm not sure what kind of equipment we got that we could go out there and work with, but anything we can do, I think this board supports it.
They're gonna have to have the sand stacked up, piled up.
I mean, there may be some, we don't have a bulldozer anymore. I think we got rid of our bulldozer.
I mean, the city
That type,
has some
but-
equipment
but
too as well.
Maybe we can all come together
Yeah.
and for the good of the community and
That's
make
right.
this thing happen.
Well, it's just a community project. I want the community to feel proud whenever they go out there. I know we got a lot of hunters, a lot of gun enthusiasts, and a lot of hunters that are around this area. And, I know there's a pile of people that's come to me as soon as I went and got this approved with the city. They've come to me, they've really supported me and got behind me, and I told them I was gonna work as hard as I could. I'll go out there and I'll pour concrete myself. I don't have any limits to what I can't do. I'm young enough, I can get out there, I'll do whatever I gotta do to make it happen. So regardless, of whether you guys can help or not, I mean, that's up to you guys, but I'm gonna do what I can, and I'll proceed how I'm going, but I really appreciate your guys' consideration.
We're gonna help
Thank
you.
I thank y'all for y'all's comments as well.
Have a get a motion here to help them. I need a second.
Second.
Got a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank y'all.
Thank you,
Sir.
Chase.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
You have anything else, Michael? Marone? You have,
I'm
is
sorry,
that
no,
all?
no.
All right,
I've got
Michael.
something, I've got something for Michael, please. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up this time of the meeting. As you all know, a former county commissioner has passed away. Mr. Clarence Williams passed away on Friday. And I just think it would be a fitting honor to have a resolution of appreciation or a resolution of remembrance for him. The funeral services are gonna be Saturday, 2:00 at the Friendship Church out here. And I just think it would be fitting to have for the family, because he did serve as the commissioner, so. And I'm gonna put that in form of a motion.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Michael Schuler?
Yes, sir, just one action item for the board. This is a memorandum of understanding concerning your election software. Your current contract with the election software company is solely for reporting purposes only, but because of some requirements from the Division of Elections at the state of Florida, your company is having to send to you a complete software suite, which includes software programming if the county were to actually self-program its elections. We do not self-program our elections. The software company actually does that for us. The MOU that they have sent to us has been amended by myself to make certain changes to protect the county on billing issues for this software that they're sending us that we've not asked for, we've not paid for, but the state of Florida is requiring to be sent to us. The three changes that I made to this software, or to this memorandum of agreement, is that the software company will deactivate the reporting modules. They will require training at the supervisor of elections office, and they will also put a password protection on the modules so that they cannot be inadvertently accessed by the supervisor's office. So with that change, I would recommend that you approve the memorandum of understanding.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
I don't have anything else.
Have any commissioner comments?
I got one. Oh, it's time for us to, to check on the chairmanship. We change every year.
I personally don't have no problem with the way we got it unless somebody else wants it. I mean, I like it the way it is. I don't have no problem. I surely don't want it.
So what's normal? I'm new, you know.
You knew? Well, it's just according to how, it's the board decision, how they want to do it. I know that I've served 2 terms or 4 terms or, 4 years or 6 years. I mean, it depends. It depends on how the board wants it. I mean, I like Commissioner Massey and Commissioner Parrish being the chair and vice chair, but that's not my decision, it's the board's decision, so.
No, back there, when Russell was on the committee, we voted to everybody. It do a year, so everybody get a chance to do it. And if you look back in the minutes, it's in there.
This is your second year?
That's my first time.
First year.
Yeah.
I ain't nothing against you, man.
How do y'all want to do it?
I like it just like it is myself. I mean,
Well-
that's my opinion, that's what I said, that's for the board though.
We, as Mr. Locklear saying, we did say we would swap around, but, I did 2 turns back to back. Since then, Cheryl, I think, has done 2 turns back to back, and as they said, it's up to the board. It's the pleasure of the board. I mean, being the vice chair, I'm not gonna make a motion or a second to do anything. I mean, it's up to the board, you know what I'm saying? So that leaves you and Mr. Lockley and Miss Sanders here.
And Ms. Sanders does say how she feels about it.
I do not want to relinquish the vice chairmanship. If I don't move to chairmanship, I want to stay where I'm at, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's
Well, how
my
we gonna do
opinion
this
on it.
thing? 2 years of,
I mean, it doesn't ma, like I said, I like it like it is. I mean, unless you want to be moving up, Mr. Noah, and I mean, don't have a problem with that, but if Chairman Massey and Chairman Parrish is willing to serve out another year, that would be in the course of what we've been doing is the 2-year span. Smokey did 2, then I did 2, and then, I surely don't want chairman and vice chairman. I can tell you, I've got my hands full with the consortium and stuff like that. It is a hard job. It's not an easy job. And like I said, I think Commissioner Massey and Commissioner Parrish does good, and don't have no problem with it, but I'm not the whole board.
I believe they do good, but I wanna make sure this man here get a chance to be chairman too. I done been it.
Well, I gotta get reelected.
Me too.
I plan to be here. I would like to be chairman sometime, not now.
You're doing the learning curve, aren't you? Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we go ahead and keep it as is, and that Commissioner Massey is chairman and Commissioner Pierce is vice chairman.
I'll second.
Have a motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Is that normally in November, this meeting, that's when that is?
Second meeting in
Yeah.
November.
Second
we
meeting
usually
in
do.
November.
The board had previously done it sometimes in January. It's really just, as Mr. Sanders.
See, our office is not like the other constitutional officers' offices, because they take office in January, we take office in November.
Right.
So there's a difference
The
there.
first meeting in November
Uh-huh.
is your own election.
It is
So
usually
that's why we
election
do the
day,
second
so you
meeting.
Yeah, so usually the
Gotcha.
second meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, several organizations I'm in have 2-year terms, just continuity. That makes sense.
But anyway, all right,
Do we have any public comments? Come forward, please, ma'am.
Mayor LaPaz.
Mayor LaPaz from Carabel. I'm not requesting board action today, but with my appointment to the Restore Act Board and the duties that will accompany that, I am respectfully requesting to be relieved of my appointment to the Appalachia Regional Planning Council. It was an honor to serve. I was proud to be appointed by this board to serve on that council. I had an opportunity to meet people from the 9-county region, all the representatives, and understand problems and projects in those 9 counties. I'm planning to attend the upcoming meeting on this Thursday, and then there will not be another meeting until January up there in Tallahassee. But I'm requesting that your board consider the appointment of Carabel Commissioner Calvin Allen to the ARPC to begin the new term in January. Our city commission voted unanimously to nominate him, to present him to your board, and I just ask you that you take it under consideration, and I did submit a letter regarding that to Mr. Marone earlier. And that's all I have to say, and have a safe trip this week. Happy Thanksgiving, and thank you very much.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Okay, thank you.
Brenda, can I ask, Mayor LaPaz, can I ask you a question? How many years have you been serving on there?
Serving on
the
ARPC,
ARPC.
January would be 2 years.
2 years.
Yes, ma'am.
And what we've usually done, and am I right, Mr. Noah? What we've usually done is staggered it. 2 years we'll have Carabel, 2 years we'll have Appalachia, 2 years we'll have, and that's the way we've usually done it. Now, I don't have a problem putting Cal Allen in there, and I don't. But I would like to ask the city of Apalachicola if they would like to have an appointment to the ARPC, minded that they go to the ARPC meetings. See what I'm saying?
I
What do y'all
have-
think?
You directing that to Mr. Marone?
I'm just I'm thinking out loud while I'm thinking, because I didn't know Brenda was doing this.
Commissioner Washington, just to give you a little context, the city of the ARPC is comprised of elected officials, and only elected officials, so staff can't go to these meetings and represent the
Yeah.
people, only elected officials can. And every county has a seat, and then the municipalities, in our case, we have 2 municipalities, so they get to rotate. Other counties have, many municipalities, they have to sort of fight over it. But as Commissioner Sanders said, we try to let them rotate. It may be the city of Apalachicola doesn't want to have anyone this year, we don't know, but
Well, and my motion would be to contact the city of Apalachicola and see if they would like to have a representative on the ARPC, because Carabel is rotating out after the 2 year. But if they're not, my motion still is to take the suggestion of the nomination of the city of Carabel for Calvin Allen to be our representative, if the city of Apalachicola does not want to have a representative there. And so that's my motion.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
And thank you, Commissioner.
All opposed? Motion carries. Go
Thank you,
ahead.
Commissioner Sanders, and that's why I was not requesting action today,
Yeah.
to allow others the opportunity.
Well, and that's why I said that. We got to contact them, because they won't know until we can contact them, or if they see this. But, but anyway,
We
thank you
thank
so
you.
much for you serving, because you were very vigilant in being there every time they had a meeting.
I believe
She's
I
on the
missed
money.
one.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
She's
Thank
on
you.
the money. Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving,
Happy Thanksgiving.
and the meeting is adjourned.
Now, is everybody going to Emiliana? What is the dress at those functions?
You got the paper out there.
39 Lagoon Drive.
No, dress, like suit?
Oh, no.
Oh, what,